locked in an icy grip as the Christmas cold wave continues. The cold weather forces the evacuation of nearly 100 senior citizens in Turtle Creek.
Circle is one single creosote, a common plant here, but one with an extraordinary ability. It's capable of renewing itself endlessly. It grows from the center outwards, and even as the center withers and disappears, the perimeter continues to expand. All this from a single tiny seed. Many of the bushes in this desert are over 100 years old, and some have been here 5 times that long. But even they are as infants compared with this particular creosote, the one they call the king clone. It has been here for not 500 years, nor 1,000, nor 5,000 years. Nope. This very bush has been growing here for over 11,000 years. It was flourishing as mankind was still groping its way towards civilization. It was ancient before the time of Christ, and it lives still. It is, in fact, the oldest known living thing on Earth. Believe it or not.
The tongue of the giant pirarucu fish of Brazil is so rough, it is used by local Indians as sandpaper. Believe it or not. In a moment, see laser beams transformed into an eerie concerto. Find out what it takes to be a champion spitter. Slither into a contest that pits man against lethal snakes. Get close to an inferno millions of times hotter than an atomic explosion. Watch the countdown in a contest to see who can eat the most salamanders alive.
In a short while, there'll be a big dinner party here. There'll be plenty of food and drink and music. As the party goes on, some of those partygoers won't be feeling so well. Heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach. For most common stomach discomforts, from here to here, they can all take one remarkable medicine for relief, Pepto-Bismol. As it coats, Pepto-Bismol relieves what's wrong. The heartburn, the upset stomach, even diarrhea. Relieves it, then leaves a protective coating behind. Can your stomach medicine do that? Pepto-Bismol. For most common stomach discomforts, the one that coats is the only one you need.
Stains, tough stains on laundry. Today, there's a liquid laundry detergent that lets you write them off, even set in mustard. Like that. Era Plus. The plus is protein because many stains, like mustard and blood, are made of protein, and protein gets out protein. Nothing gets out every stain, but Era Plus gets out some of the toughest, with the surprising cleaning power of protein. Now, get 50 cents off on a bottle of Era Plus. Watch for your 50 cents off coupon, coming in your publisher's clearinghouse mailing.
Tuesday, Jack's dream come true.
You can sleep wherever you want. You want to make it?
Turns into a hilarious nightmare on Three's Company.
What you?
Then, action! Madeline goes Hollywood and upstages Charlie's ex-leading lady. Oh, Madeline.
I'm hanging out with the gang.
Then the Hearts get a cold welcome on their Hawaiian fling. And when they find sunken treasure, they're in deep trouble. Heart to heart.
Tuesday, all starting at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
Channel 4, your Winter Olympic station.
Melody and rhythm, the essence of music. You can make it yourself, or you can buy it on records or tapes after it passes through an electronic maze like this. All the gadgetry packed into this modern console is designed to do just one thing: record the sound made in that room. This studio will accommodate a large group of musicians, but in this case, the orchestra comes wrapped up inside this box. This is called a CMI, computerized musical instrument. a device that can reproduce and play back any sound or rhythm which has been programmed into its memory bank. For instance, the computer can duplicate the sound of a violin and enable you to reproduce its tone with any notes you choose. You can even see what the sound wave form of a violin looks like. And you can push another button and reproduce the sight and sound of a trumpet. With a CMI, a composer can choose any combination of instruments he desires, program their notes into the computer, and be able to hear his composition played by, say, a string quartet or a large group. To give you some idea of how the process works, let me punch up an orchestra on the CMI. Now, with a light pen, I'm first going to lay down a rhythm track. First, the kick drum, and then the snare. Finally, I'll add the rest of the orchestra, which has already been programmed. That's the title theme music for our show, composed by Henry Mancini. Making music with computers like this may seem to spell the end of the line for human musicians. Not so. The computer, after all, is just a new instrument to learn how to play. And musicians everywhere love to play new instruments. The computer, however, is but one in a startling array of innovations. In France, laser beams have been transformed into visual music by Bernard Sagener. To play the light rays, he interrupts the beams at precise positions. Other controls provide subtle variations in the artist's compositions. Sagener calls his instrument a laser harp. There are only 2 of them in the world, and Sagener made both of them. The inventive virtuosity displayed in the development of new instruments is not limited to musicians. In his Los Angeles studio, sculptor George Landry set out to create the world's largest stringed musical instrument. For Landry, the project is the realization of a dream, a giant-sized musical instrument that can be played by groups or individuals from inside. When completed, it will be almost 50 feet high and 16 feet across. To complete the work, Landry called upon composer Michael Stearns. As a sculptor, Landry was expert in executing the physical shape of the instrument. But the special skills of a composer like Stearns were required to create the sound of what they call the lyra, a symbolic reference to an ancient Greek myth. Costumed and choreographed, the performance demonstrates the full theatrical potential of Landry's creation. Zither's 156 strings produce a unique sound which is augmented in performance by electronic synthesizers. By linking music to sculpture, George Landry has created a combination as unique in its way as an unusual concerto composed within this office building in Germany. Influenced by the pervasive atmosphere of a high-tech environment, German composer Holst Liebermann was inspired to seek out the musical quality lurking inside the most ordinary of modern office machines. The challenge was to isolate each sound, provide an appropriate orchestration, and then give the downbeat. Believe it? Or not.
This musical instrument, the flute, is not named for the person who invented it, but for the flauta, a Sicilian eel. Believe it or not. In a moment, survival inside a room filled with snakes. Champion spitters juice up to make the splatter that matters. Take a voyage into the mysterious void of outer space. Applaud a bizarre appetite for live salamanders.
Here it comes from CoverGirl. It's Marathon Mascara. Marathon stays fresh. It looks just put on.
Till you take it off.
Marathon looks just put on till you take it off.
It's waterproof. It won't smudge, smear, or flake.
And the special curved brush builds long, thick, beautiful lashes.
Marathon looks just put on till you take it off.
Marathon Mascara from CoverGirl.
Yeah, cold front's moving in, temperature's dropping, get us out of here.
These jet helicopters have to be prepared to move from summer to winter in minutes. They use a special anti-icing fuel additive developed by Phillips Petroleum. For seismic crews that work here, it helps turn a potentially dangerous situation
Picked up 4, I'm coming home.
into a routine flight. Fine products for you and your car from Phillips Petroleum, the performance company.
Ripley's Believe It or Not will continue in a moment.
Thursday, America's newest superhero becomes a crime boss.
If you get in my way, you'd be eliminated.
And he gives the syndicate a run for its money.
Gotta stop it, Otto. We'll take everything I've got, Walter.
Automan. Then a senator's daughter is kidnapped.
Daddy, don't do what they say. They're gonna kill me anyway.
And Masquerade recruits some heavy hitters for a trip to Hawaii.
Those 3 girls are gonna have to move in with you.
Average Americans become spies on Masquerade.
Thursday, all starting at 8/7 Central and Mountain.
It has been said that 85% of all we learn through our eyes. For a blind child, the world is a confusing place. The Western Pennsylvania School for Blind Children is there to help. Serving the western half of the Commonwealth, the school provides programs for children who are only blind and those with additional handicaps as well. With our help and yours, these children can learn about a world that the sighted often take for granted. Please, support the School for Blind Children. Help our kids have a brighter future.
Season's greetings from Channel 4.
Whatever it is, if you can do it, you can turn it into a contest. For example, a piece of steel, an anvil, a forge, and the hammers and tongs to go with them. This is a portable blacksmith shop, a place where horses come to be fitted for shoes. About 40 of the world's most accomplished farriers from such places as Idaho, Minnesota, Arkansas, and all the way from Wales are here today. Farrier. That's a fancy word for horseshoer. They've come together today to find out which farrier is the finest and the fastest. We're here at the first annual Southern California Forging Contest in a most unlikely setting, just outside the glamorous beach colony of Malibu. The object of the contest is to transform a piece of steel like this into a horseshoe like this, and put it on a horse like that. It's a race against the clock. Although each farrier starts with an identical bar of steel, techniques are as distinctively different as the personalities of the contestants. Winning is what it's all about. No matter how old you are or where you hail from, it's the honor of being #1 that really counts. And that's as true here as it is anywhere in the world. In South Africa, poisonous snakes are the central focus in a dangerous contest conceived to create an unbeatable personal achievement. The object, to establish the record for staying alive the longest in a room filled with deadly serpents, including Egyptian cobras, puff adders, and black mambas. Each morning, spectators gather to see if the competitors have survived the night.
There's always a snake moving somewhere. There's always movement somewhere in the cage. And a person has virtually got to be completely aware of your surroundings so that if there's a movement, you've got to pick it up and know what it is and where it's going to.
After 50 days, snake sitter Peter Snyman emerges to claim the record. But it's soon challenged by another determined competitor who invited 38 venomous reptiles to share his quarters. To win, all Johannes Mothemane has to do is to stay alive and hope that attending officials keep his companions well fed. For Mothemane, each meal is a contest in itself, a deadly game that requires him to wait until the snakes have satisfied their appetites before he can satisfy his. Alone with his slithering roommates, Mothemane was determined to survive for 52 days. The honor of being the champion snake sitter was his. And in South Africa or in Southern California, it is the quest for victory that motivates the competitive spirit. For some, no human endeavor is without its sporting possibilities.
Okay, we're going to be calling the accuracy juice up first. You get one spit in order to qualify. You want to go after the world record, I guess.
Staged each year in the town of Calico, California, the contest provides an opportunity for tobacco spitters of all ages to display their skills in two distinct categories. Contestants can load up to spit for distance, or they can choose the technically more difficult challenge of the accuracy spit. A simple wooden stake, surrounded by carefully cultivated sand, is the target for accuracy.
This contest here, you get two spits. If you step over the first time, that not only disqualifies you for the first spit, that disqualifies you for the entire contest.
The rules are hard, but clear. One misstep and your spit is for nothing. From foot-rail to post, the distance is 10 feet. Measurements are precise, and winning spits are often determined by a fraction of an inch.
Half inch!
It's not exactly the Olympics, but it's fun to do your personal best. I suppose in anything, if you want to run the fastest or jump the highest or throw a shot put the farthest, I spit.
As in any competition, there is a moment when the tension mounts, when everything rides on a single spit. For spitters, to win the Calico contest is the zenith of accomplishment. The satisfaction it provides is comparable to the excitement generated by Pennsylvania State University students in search of an elusive prize, a freshwater salamander. For members and guests of the Phi Delta Chi fraternity, salamanders are living proof that old fads never die. In the 1920s, eating live goldfish was all the rage. Times change, but the challenge remains the same.
I'm going for over 100 for the 4 days. Some guy ate like 80 of them. Because of faulty record keeping, the winner's final count is lost to history. Believe it or not.
In a contest at Atlantic City, New Jersey, Israel Weintraub consumed 146 clams in 20 minutes. Believe it or not. In a moment, take a voyage into the mysterious void of outer space. Get close to an inferno millions of times hotter than an atomic explosion.
Don't forget to brush.
Hey, what's up?
I came in second.
Well, you ran as fast as you could, didn't you?
Yeah.
Coming in first is really important to you, isn't it?
Yeah. I like to win.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel. Come on. I know at least one thing that can put you out in front.
Toothpaste?
Advanced formula crest with fluorostat. It's even tougher than the crest your mom and I had at your age.
So, what'll that get me?
Well, it could get you to first place with the best checkups in the whole family.
Yeah.
With advanced formula Crest, your kids could have even fewer cavities than you did.
Grandpa, how come your new Citrus Hill orange juice tastes so yummy?
Because at Citrus Hill, we wait till the oranges get full of sunshiny sweetness. But do you know how long it takes them to get all sunshiny sweet?
A week?
More like a year.
A whole year?
Yep. You see, honey, oranges take sunshine and turn it into sweet, delicious juice. The more sun they get, the more naturally sweet.
Citrus Hill orange juice gets.
That's right. You can taste a year of sunshine in every sip.
Is Grandpa coming with us to the movies?
He can't, Mommy. He has to watch his oranges get sweeter.
New Citrus Hill orange juice. There's a year of sunshine in every sip.
For tens of thousands of years, as man looked skyward at night, he could see only about 3,000 stars, yet had no knowledge of the vast universe that lay beyond his view. 3,000 stars. That's about all you can see with the naked eye. Oh, a few of the privileged astronomers with the crude instruments of the 19th century could see some tens of thousands of stars. But that was the limit to our knowledge of the size of our universe. Then, 60 years ago, only 60 years, a young American astronomer, Edwin Hubble, in this observatory on top of Mount Wilson, California, with this instrument, changed that conception. He discovered there was another universe out there. Night after night, during the winter of 1923, he would come here at dusk, put on a coat to protect himself against the bitterly cold mountain air. Then he would climb these stairs, get onto this platform, and ascend 50 feet to the top of the telescope. At that time, the largest in the world. Hubble focused the telescope's camera on a distant speck of light, then waited hours for an exposure. When the stars began to disappear in the dawn, Hubble would take the exposed negative plate to a small dark room under the telescope and patiently wait in the dark for the image to be developed. And this is what it looked like. A mass of small specks on a piece of clear glass. Hubble had found a universe that contained not thousands of stars, but galaxy after galaxy filled with countless billions of stars moving about in seemingly unending space. The Andromeda Galaxy, one of our closest galactic neighbors, yet it lies an incomprehensible number of miles from us. Revolving majestically in space, it is similar in size and shape to our own galaxy, the Milky Way. Hundreds of billions of stars, like our sun, make up its compact core. Further out in space, innumerable clusters of galaxies in a variety of forms race away from each other, attaining astonishing speeds up to 100,000 miles a second. As astronomers probe the edge of the known cosmos, one question is paramount. When and how did the universe begin? Most scientists today agree on one answer. It all started nearly 20 billion years ago. all matter in the universe expanding from an inconceivably hot and densely packed fireball. They called it the Big Bang Theory. But how do you prove a theory like this? Well, believe it or not, some evidence has been found to substantiate the theory. Proof of the Big Bang was found on a New Jersey hillside with this radio telescope in the mid-1960s. It was an accidental discovery made by a team of Bell Laboratory radio astronomers, Robert Wilson and Arno Penzias. No matter where the telescope was pointed, it picked up a peculiar sound at a particular temperature, a specific low-level hiss. In a series of nighttime as well as daylight tests, neither Wilson nor Penzias could positively identify the noise. With a variety of sensitive instruments, they set out to explore all possible sources of the nuisance, including the effect of distant automobile ignitions on the telescope. With all other possible causes eliminated, the scientists even climbed inside the horn of the telescope to evict a pair of pigeons and remove their droppings. Yet the noise remained. When other astronomers learned of their research, they were astounded by their findings. Penzias and Wilson had discovered the fading sound of the moment of creation, exactly as other scientists had predicted.
He had measured what they then explained to us was the remnant noise from the creation of the universe.
For their discovery, Robert Wilson and Arno Penzias were honored with the Nobel Prize. And this is the sound they heard. A sizzle and a crackling bit of static. Confirmation of the Big Bang Theory. An incredible expansion of cosmic gas from which the stars have evolved. From the whirling clouds of stardust in the galaxies, stars are born. Then, like all things in the universe, they will one day die. Our sun was created about 5 billion years ago and resides on the outer arm of our galaxy, lost among billions of stars. The sun, our star. Life on Earth depends on this distant, raging inferno. Temperatures exceed 27 million degrees, 1 million times hotter than an atomic explosion. Gigantic eruptions leap out over 100,000 miles, yet are invisible to the naked eye on Earth, 93 million miles away. In comparison to the size of the sun, the Earth is a tiny speck. Yet we are as dependent on its warmth as we are vulnerable to its whims. In about 5 billion years, astronomers predict the sun will begin to expand until it encompasses the planets Mercury, Venus, and the Earth itself. No person, place, or thing will be immune to destruction on that day when the Earth will vaporize and become part of the sun. The inferno will pass, The atoms of the sun will collapse in upon themselves, and the once mighty sun will become a burnt-out star, a cold ember in outer space. And we will be one with the universe. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. In a moment, the story of how 2 slices of bread made history.
Every year at this time, people look forward to very special phone calls. And every year, the Bell system has been there to bring them to you. Now that the Bell system is breaking up, you might wonder what will happen to all those special calls. Nothing. Your local Bell company and AT&T will still serve you, but separately.
The Motor Trend Car of the Year Award. The winner, Renault Alliance. And AMC Jeep Renault is celebrating with factory incentives to dealers. Now may be the best time to buy an Alliance or an all-new Encore. Plus factory-to-dealer incentives of up to $1,000 on Fuego Turbo. Get the buy of the year now through January 7th. And be sure to check out Jeep CJ and the all-new Jeep Cherokee. See your local AMC Jeep Renault dealer today.
Ripley's Believe It or Not, brought to you by Advanced Formula Crest with Fluorostat. Fighting cavities is the whole idea behind Crest. Next.
There's still a way to collect this slop.
Crime fighting has its ups and downs for Hardcastle and McCormick.
That's what the law's all about.
Success in life and in cards. Sheer luck sometimes plays a far greater role than deliberate effort. An 18th century English lord named John Montague couldn't seem to do anything right in his pursuit of fame. Appointed First Lord of the Admiralty, Montague performed so poorly, some historians believe he inadvertently helped England lose the American Revolution. A beautiful group of islands in the Pacific was named after Montague, but then the name was changed. We know them now as the Hawaiian Islands. Nevertheless, not a single day goes by without millions of people invoking our hero's name because of something that happened at a card table. It wasn't a spectacular win or loss for that matter. No, you see, Montague was a gambling addict. Cards. He often got into marathon games of cribbage or whist that continued through day and night. He would refuse to leave the table, even to eat. But he did get hungry. At approximately 5 o'clock in the morning of August 6th, 1762, Montague ordered his manservant to make and bring him a simple, quick meal. And at that moment, quite unwittingly, our rather lackluster hero achieved immortality. Because what he told his man to do was just slap some roasted meat between 2 slices of bread. That's right. John Montague was also known as the Earl of Sandwich. Believe it or not. Next on Ripley's Believe It or Not. Take a death-defying high dive from a towering perch in the South Pacific. Accept an invitation to share a meal with a hungry shark. Witness the ritual violence along the route of a pilgrimage in India. Put the pedal to the metal as a stack of TV sets become one man's idea of modern art. Next on Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Ripley's Believe It or Not will return in 2 weeks. Next week, go behind the scenes with Richard Pryor and Christopher Reeve in the making of Superman 3.
This is Joan London. What was your favorite movie this year? Tomorrow on Good Morning America, Joel Siegel will have his picks and pans for 83. Also, Simon and Garfunkel together again on Good Morning America.
Now stay tuned for Hardcastle and McCormick next on ABC.
Friday, January 6th, this baby's gonna blow you away.